What's going on, everybody? This is Alex Quin, and you're listening to the Hustle Inspires Hustle podcast. We're in Miami today with Aldo Espinosa, founder of Toro Loco. What's up, man?
Hey.
Hey, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you for coming. Let me tell you something, man. I had a fantastic time at Toro Loco like 2 weeks ago. I felt like royalty. Okay?
It's like if you were not in Miami, like if you were maybe in Texas in a very Texan-like restaurant with a lot of wood and crazy things, no?
Yeah, man. So, Toro Loco, how did this start? And to be clear, before we jump into it, Toro Loco is a steakhouse.
Toro Loco is a steakhouse.
Okay, beautiful.
It's a misconception, and they think that it's a Brazilian steakhouse, but it's a twist. It's a Miami twist. So it has a little bit of Brazilian, it has a little bit of Texan, a little bit of Cuban, and a little bit from every country of the cultures that we have in Miami. No, so Toro Loco is a long story. If you want me to start from the beginning,
Please do.
Well, it started with a food truck. I always wanted to have a restaurant. I was 13 years old. My mom and my dad, they came home late from work. Okay, so there was food to be made, but there was not enough money to go buy food. So I started cooking back then, and I started liking it. You know, so I started cooking for the whole family, and I always wanted to have a restaurant. So I started saving money, and I couldn't afford a restaurant, so I opened a food truck. The food truck was a success. It was right in front of FIU, the university.
South or north? Kendall?
No. Right in front of Publix, 13 and 107.
Okay.
That's the north, no?
That's in North Miami?
No. 107 Avenue and A Street.
Oh, no. That's the one down by Pastoral. Yeah, that's the South Campus, the main campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we started selling $8,000 a month, more or less, and it went up to $150,000 a month. So I was able to save money, and I opened my first restaurant.
From a food truck. Incredible.
From a food truck. And there was lines of 60, 70 people waiting to get their food there. It became extremely popular. Just following, some basic rules. High quality, low prices, everything clean, consistent, opening every day. And it became a success. Now, after we opened the restaurant, we noticed that we had fans. Like if we were some type of a singer, Elvis Presley or something like that, we started getting people to be fans of our Toro Loco because of the way we were doing things. So we went into social media. I never had social media. I didn't even know what Facebook was. But I started getting into it, and people started following us and making comments that we should open more locations here and there. So then we opened the Westchester location. After the Westchester location, we opened the Hammocks location, then the Kendall, now the Little Havana location, and soon to be opened the Doral location.
Beautiful.
So all of that had to become complemented by the meat distribution center because the prices, and we started doing our own distribution for our own restaurants and the food trucks. We have another 5 food trucks besides the locations that I told you.
Same branding, Toro Loco.
Same branding, the all Toro Loco.
Okay.
In the meat distribution is called the Toro Loco Meat Distribution. Then we opened the TV show, El Toro Loco TV show, every Saturday night at 10 on Mega TV.
Okay.
That show is seen nationwide, all over the United States. And we started getting a lot of following from that as well. So the butcher shop has not opened yet. It would open very soon. The butcher shop is going to be like the place for preparation for the restaurants, but at the same time, it's going to be open to the public, and they can buy the meats that they enjoy at the restaurant completely raw, so they can cook it at the house.
Nice.
Okay, and soon, hopefully, a supermarket in the works, already registered. A movie called Cubana. Okay, is a Miami movie that has to do with the attitude of a Cuban woman. Okay? So we're doing a lot of things, but
Love that.
But they're all together like a spider to a center, which is Toro Loco.
Yeah, I love how you like master one area and then you see how you could improve in other areas of the business by adding a business that directly complements that business. Yep. How long has it been since the inception of Toro Loco to today, where you have multiple locations?
Well, we started in 2014. We are in 2023, so 9 years.
Okay.
9 years.
Almost a decade now.
Almost a decade.
And how long was it from the moment you opened the food truck, doing 10K a month until you did that first 100K?
150 actually.
Okay.
It was not too long.
Those are solid numbers for a food truck, man.
Those are numbers that are
astronomical.
They don't make any sense. People wouldn't believe it unless they would actually see it.
Yeah.
I have a food truck now that is selling $250,000
a month.
Every month. Now that food truck has 20 employees. It's like a restaurant, but it's a food truck. Now that franchisee was the one that got together enough money to build the restaurant in Doral. I'm building the restaurant for him. Mm-hmm. So he's Toro Loco, but he's a franchisee.
Yeah, he believed in that vision.
He believed in that vision. He was someone that grew up with me. He's a good friend. I gave him the opportunity to have the food truck. He did really well. His name is Ivo. And then he saved the money to open the restaurant, which tells a lot that the business is actually going forward. It
must feel good to see like other people believing in that vision to the point that they would invest their time, their energy, their money into growing something that you helped build.
I consider myself very lucky to have a lot of high quality people that follow my ideas.
Yeah.
Well, without them, this wouldn't be possible. There's only so much one person can do.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I was about to ask you. I think I know the answer to the question, but I was about to ask you, why do you think every single aspect of the business that you start building upon becomes so successful? But I think I noticed it, and I think you answered that question for me the day that I went to dinner at Toro Loco on 8th Street, and it's that your staff treats the place like they own it, like it's theirs, like it's part of it's like a family, and they take pride in doing things quick and being there quick and smiling for you, helping you. I think that culture that you've built has bled out into all other aspects of the business, which allows you to have the name that you have, for people to want to rock your gear, like some of the gear we have here on the table. I'm rocking your merch right now.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
And I have to be completely honest with you. If people cannot solve their personal problems with the money that they make, they're not going to be completely loyal to you, because they're going to have to go somewhere else to make that money, because they still got to pay their rent.
Right.
So what I did is I raised everybody's salary to the maximum that I could pay, and everybody's able to pay all their bills with all the money that they make in Toro Loco, including the people that are not waiters. We all know that the waiters make the most money. Total Loco waiters make over $1,500 a week, $2,000, even over $2,000 weekly.
Yeah.
And these people used to make way less than that working in other places. So when they see the amount of money that they're making, they want to keep the job, obviously, but they got to follow the rules. And the rules are you have to be proud of what you're doing, because this place is clean. We respect your time here. We train you. Total Loco fans have certain expectations, and you have to give it to them. And they do it with a smile on their face. You saw it with your own eyes,
Yeah.
But they also got to make enough money. It's something that I always advise my friends that have restaurants, other people. Hey, pay these people as much as you can, because they're going to be the ones facing the customers. They're going to be the ones representing you. And they need to see this place like the only thing they have in their mind when it comes to income, and that is one of the tricks to make sure that you get 100% loyalty,
And you know what the cool thing about that is, because I noticed it. I noticed it in some content that we were reviewing that you filmed recently for Fame Magazine, and you talk about one of your staff members that's been with you for quite some time. And she's been able to move up through the ranks. The beautiful thing about that is that eventually these people are organized enough, might eventually be able to say, hey, Aldo, I want to be a franchisee, or I want to do this, and they could grow from within. So you build that culture that people want to be part of what you're doing, not just like a quick job that they're going to get rid of in 6 months or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, like I said, I talk to people around me that have restaurants, and sometimes I don't want to tell them everything, But when I do want to help somebody out, and looking at the success of Total Loco, one of the tricks that we have and one of the things that make us successful is that we like to build people from scratch, from the bottom up, just like I came from the bottom up. We don't want to hire someone that has 10 years of experience running a restaurant, because I like to think that most likely that person is not to my standards. But if the lady that you met or the lady that we did an interview, she was a dishwasher. You know, she was a dishwasher. Then she started working in the kitchen. Then she turned into helping Expo, and then she became the manager of that area that includes the grill masters, the kitchen, and the Expo, which is where we put the place together to bring to the floor.
Yeah, so it seems like you hire culture and you train skill, which is what a lot of successful business owners do.
That's the right way of saying it.
Yeah. Now I see you're very hands-on, man. Because that day I went, you're like attentive to every single aspect. You know what's going on with every table. You know where the staff is going, making sure things are getting cleaned up, making sure people are being tended to, the music, the hosts. It feels like you're walking into like a very upscale, important, fancy style type of event. It almost feels like an experience, like an event. Like you just got to an event.
It's an everyday event. Remember, there's a lot of places that need to be handled that way. Not only the one you went.
Yeah.
They're running at the same time.
Yeah.
In the mornings, I like to see what's going on with the constructions. So I go early in the morning to see how the new construction for the new places are going on. And then after that, I go to the restaurants. We also check on the franchisees. We send, I go myself, but sometimes I send inspectors to make sure that they're following the rules. And they're very proud of having Toro Loco because it positions them in the community, number one. And number two, they're making really good money. But, not all the things that I do for money. There's a lot of things that I do that people tell me that they don't make any sense. The furniture that we do, from Cuban mahogany to all the details of a Total Loco, the TV show, the fighting company. We have the bare knuckle fighters that they don't promote for Total Loco. I run their careers. So we gotta, not when it comes to training, but when it comes to contracts, weigh-ins, blood work, all of that, we have to be on top of all of that to make sure that they are in the right place. And obviously they wear Toro Loco clothing, so we get a benefit from that.
This is a separate business altogether.
But it's called a Toro Loco MMA. So everything is connected. It's like a spider web.
Okay.
Everything is connected, and every other business promotes Toro Loco. So I can tell you in the fighting business, it's not a lucrative business for me, but it's something that I always wanted to do. And I think it's a good complement to the spider web. It brings a lot of new customers from Fort Lauderdale, since most of the fights are done in Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Yeah, most of them are there.
Yeah, and I always run the commercials there on the fights. So
the fights are awesome, man.
The fights are great.
I've only been to one or two, and I thought I wouldn't like it before because I've never been into it. But once you're there, the energy is crazy, man. People really get into it.
The thing is that it's like a off-white fighting. You don't wear any gloves, so you're hitting with your own knuckles.
Yeah.
Every time you hit, you're gonna get a cut.
Yeah.
So it's a very intense sport. I liked it a lot. I did it a little bit when I was a teenager, and I always wanted to fight. It was in me. I had that adrenaline rush, but family responsibilities, bills, turned me into a different path. And then
it's a taxing career on health and mental health. It's
and at the end of the day, I don't think there's a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And you gotta be into business to actually make money. You gotta be away from the spectrum of going to work and just focusing on that. And something I gotta say that is, it's a little bit sad, but a lot of people go to school for many, many years to end up doing a job that sometimes pay the same as what they were doing before, and it takes them 10 years, and you only have one life.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure that you use your time correctly, because that's the one thing you can get back, right?
That's right.
I think that if you have the mentality of a business owner, you should pursue that, and you should pursue trying to have your own thing instead of working for somebody else.
When Aldo was in high school, what did Aldo think he wanted to do with his life or as a career? Was it the fighting?
You had a little bit to do with the fighting. I was actually fighting almost every day anyway.
Uh-huh.
I was a complicated teenager.
Okay.
But then, like I told you, at 16, I had a girlfriend that was a little bit older than me, and she helped me shift that gear into responsibility. So Legnat and Sivia, I remember her name. She was very good to me at that time. She was actually a student at FIU, and she had a job at FPL. And she would always tell me, hey, Aldo, you got to stop those things, leave the street. If you want to be this responsible man that you're talking to me about, then, focus on work and focus on making your own business. And little by little, that's what I started doing. Not only Toro Loco, I had other businesses before that, but I was never as motivated as I am with Toro Loco. Toro Loco is something that I wake up every day like a fanatic. Like I'm obsessed with Toro Loco, and even though it's my own business,
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, and I see that I'm able to help a lot of people. That brings me happiness.
Yeah.
I'm able to help my family, which is my priority.
Yeah.
I'm able to give a better life to my people, and to me, that's happiness.
Yeah, you could tell. You could tell that you're very passionate about it. Maybe this type of concept wouldn't work for somebody that's not as passionate as you, because they may, people may go to your restaurants or your food trucks or any of your business, and they might be inspired. They may even draw ideas for their own places. You could say they could have the recipe, but their sauce is not going to taste the same because it's not you. And I think that's a very big factor when it comes to business. It's like, how into it are you? How passionate are you? Because somebody could have the same playbook. Doesn't mean it's going to work.
Yeah, you're completely right about that. You have to be obsessed. If you're not obsessed, it's like everyone that is a leader in this country or in the world or has been a public figure, they have to have an obsession. Mm-hmm. If you do it part-time, you're not going to succeed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You have to keep an eye on everything. You have to look at every single detail. So sometimes people tell me, hey, it's too much. You're going to go crazy. Well, I made it into a lifestyle where that's the way I live Monday to Saturday, and I'm able to get one day for me, which is Sunday.
Yeah.
And that day, I'm willing to sacrifice some things, but that's the one day that I recuperate. Yeah. That's the one day that I stay with my daughter, Rafaela. She's over there sitting.
Hey.
And you have to pay attention to the details. People think, oh, I'm already rich. I'm going to go to Dubai. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to Hawaii. And then they don't pay attention to the details of what's happening. And little do they know that those things decline extremely fast. In 2 or 3 months, you can lose an empire. So you got to be on top of your game every single minute. That's the way I see it.
I interviewed Elena Cardone on this podcast, and she was telling me, she's like, in her book, she writes, every day you're either building an empire or you're destroying one. So you have to decide what you want to do every day when you wake up, and especially when you're at the top, right? Because when you're at the top is when it gets harder, actually, because you have to maintain. People are copying you. People are doing what you're doing. They're trying to take your flavor, and that's when you have to be more aggressive.
That's where my bad side comes out. And if I can be completely honest with you, there's a lot of people that imitate Toro Loco. I have to say that it bothers me. People tell me, hey, they're not going to be able to make it. I know. More than 20 people have tried, 20 places have tried to imitate Toro Loco, and they have disappeared. Okay? But there is a couple of them that if we do this, like this interview that we're doing right now, they see it and they're going to try to contact you to do an interview.
Yeah.
If we're going on TV, they're trying to do the same. We're going to the fighting, we're trying to do the same. They're copying the plates of the Toro Loco. And, at the end of the day, I know that I should see beyond that because they will never be able to make it if they're imitating. If they're original, of course, everybody has a chance. When you're original, that's my favorite word, be original, then you can make things happen. When you imitate, I don't know. It's like God is not on your side. Yeah, that's the way I see it. And there's a couple people right now that I don't want to mention, but they're gonna get what they deserve. They've been trying to copy Toro Loco, taking pictures, videos, and doing all these things, and then pretending to be friends of the company, then later to betray them. But
that tends to happen a lot in business, especially in Miami.
Yes, it's Miami.
We love Miami. We're 305 people, but there's a lot of craziness out here. You got to keep it original.
I love Miami. I can tell you that much.
Yep.
I had opportunities to be away from Miami and make really good money, but I decided to stay in Miami for way less money to be close to my family, and because I feel like home. Miami is my backyard. I grew up here.
But were you born here?
No, I was born in Cuba. I came when I was 11 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was it was a difficult transaction.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was. I told you I didn't speak any English. I was a very proud kid. My mom and my dad were working too much, to late hours, and that's when I started cooking. That I told you.
Yeah, you were that was your way of helping out in the
That
house.
was my way of helping in the house. Yes, yes. I also started hunting at that age, so I would fish and hunt and do all these crazy things and cook all of these
Things that you hunted.
that I hunted at the house. Actually, there was animals that you couldn't hunt back then in lakes, like ducks, things like that.
Yeah.
And I started hunting them and I started cooking them, and people would eat them and they would say, "Oh, what restaurant do you get this from?" They didn't know that I was actually getting that in the morning.
Yeah.
And bass from freshwater.
Yeah.
Freshwater bass.
Yeah.
My mom and my dad, they didn't want to eat it because they said, "Oh, that comes from the canal, that comes from a lake. we God knows what it has." And I said, "Mom, don't worry, it's all good." They tried it and they loved it. They loved it. Yeah.
You know what's funny about some people when it comes to the whole hunting thing? It's like they'll be all scared about hunting or judging people that go hunting, but they'll eat a burger or a steak. It's like, what are you doing, man? This is nature. This is how human beings have lived for God knows how long, getting their food. Like,
well, the low quality food, I would like to advise people to be aware of low quality food. Meat, beef specifically, chicken, pork. If you're getting low quality or cheap products, you have to think what is behind that. How was that animal raised to be able to be so cheap?
Nothing is free.
Nothing is free. So if you're getting high quality meat like USDA Prime, that's our base in Toro Loco, USDA Prime, with the Department of Agriculture of this country, rates us as the highest standard of this country.
And that's your baseline.
That's my baseline. Then we have Australian Wagyu marbling score A9, which is the maximum. And we have American Wagyu Gold Edition, which is the maximum on Wagyu of this country and Australia. And then we have A5 from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have A4, A3, but we decided to go for the maximum from Kagoshima, Miyazaki, Kobe. And for people that would like to have that experience. Now, if I can talk about my own experience, my favorite will be USDA Prime. I like American beef, Angus, Black Angus on the quality of Prime. That satisfies me completely, and that's what I eat every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've had a ton of experience in this side of the hospitality space, food. Let's say you were talking to Aldo 9-10 years ago, and Aldo's about to start a restaurant, specifically from the marketing side, because you seem to dominate that. Marketing and PR is outside of food. That's your thing. I don't know if you've been told or you know already, but that's your thing. What would you tell Aldo 10 years ago are the top 5 or top few things that he should look at marketing wise when looking to start a restaurant? What do you look at when looking to start a restaurant from a marketing perspective?
From a marketing perspective.
Just marketing perspective.
Just marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. Word to mouth is going to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can't underestimate that. Recommendations from people are always going to be number one.
Okay.
Because you need people to repeat. So you can have an amazing marketing and they're going to go once, but are they going to continue going?
Yeah.
So word of mouth recommendations are going to be number one. Number two, I would say being out there in the community, participating in the community. Every time the city has an event, we're there. Every time the firefighters, the cops, or things that had to do with helping the community, we're there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to invest money, obviously, on salaries and food, but at the end of the day, it gives you recognition in the community.
Yeah.
So that will be number two.
Mm-hmm.
Now, number three, TV, radio, social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all these platforms are going to help. But again, they can help you going there once. How are you going to keep them from going?
Yeah.
Again. So I would say the experience that you had is the key. That is the best marketing strategy. Once you get that customer the first time, keep him. Treat him like a king. Give him the best service, the best food at a very affordable price, And I think that's the best marketing you can ever do, you know?
It's true. You know what? A few weeks ago, we had gone to a steakhouse to eat, my family and I, for a family member's birthday. And the waiter treated us like shit, man. The food was good, to their credit. I'm not going to name them. Food was good, but the waiter's a total asshole. And it discourages from going again. And we're people that keep coming back to restaurants. So what you're saying is very true. Like, sometimes it's not even reinventing the wheels. Like, you have the customer right there. Just give them a good experience. Like,
they're bringing you their time, their money, their family. Come on, they're giving you so much. Why not treat them like it's the last time you're gonna see them?
Yeah,
like an amazing experience. To me, I feel humble about my customers. Like, when I see them, I want to give them everything that I have. You know, I can't have a customer leave the restaurant unless they're happy. I don't care if I have to give them all the food for free. What I want is for them to have an experience, because that person and that family is going to turn into 100 people to go after them.
Absolutely.
But if they have a bad experience, they're going to be minus 100 people into your restaurant. That's really my number one marketing strategy.
You know, it's funny that ever since we went to your restaurant, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my family hasn't stopped talking to everybody about your restaurant.
There you go. So it works.
Yeah. We're planning on taking a party soon. But it was nice. The dessert was incredible. The dessert is, I believe, your grandma's recipe or something like that.
No,
one of the desserts.
It's actually my recipe.
It's your recipe.
Yes. In Cuba, we used to do it with old bread, like the bread that nobody could eat anymore because it was too hard. You would get eggs and milk, and make a little shake. And you would dip this bread into the shake, and then you would cook it with whatever you have, like oil, fat, butter. But a lot of people didn't have butter.
Yeah.
So here, our torreja is made. The bread is made especially for us. It's a French bread that is very expensive, and then we cut it. We make this new formula with eggs, vanilla, cocoa, 3 different types of milk. Then we add a little bit of liquor. Coconut liquor, okay? We fry this torreja in butter, real butter, right before it reaches the table. And then we put some sugar on top and we flame it, okay? So the torreja is our number one dessert. Other than that, now we have the baklava, we have the churros with dulce de leche inside.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Yes, I'm always going to like the torreja. It's going to be my number one.
That was my number one. Yeah. We were talking about it for like 3 days after. And this morning, my dad was like, you're gonna go meet Aldo. I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you bring a dessert? I'm like, no, you gotta wait till the weekend or till whenever we go.
You should have told me, man. I could have brought a few of them.
Yeah, you left my family completely obsessed. So Aldo, let me ask you, man. How do you want to be remembered?
I'm surprised you asked that question. I just came in here without knowing what questions you were gonna ask, but that has a lot to do with what I'm doing. I want to be remembered as a visionary. I want to be remembered as someone that took care of his family. I want to be remembered as someone that is loyal to his friends, of a man that keeps his word, and also a man that is willing to confront the enemies of the family or the enemies of the business all the way to the end. I want to be remembered of a person that would never give up. That will always continue going forward, no matter the consequences of where that would take me, as long as we're going, that I feel I'm defending what is right.
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, I'm going to get in trouble, or it's not worth it, but they know it's right. I'm the type of person that is going to continue going forward as long as I know it's right, no matter the obstacles in the middle, And I think that type of personality is the one that brought me to where I am right now. There's going to be a lot of difficulties when you're trying to build a business. You're trying to reach 100, and then you're always going to get 70 or 80. But if you do 70 or 80, you're going to get 50 or 40. So you got to push at 100% every day.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be perfect, And if you make, I don't know, to give you an example, if you make $100,000 and you lose 90, you can't let that be an obstacle. You got to continue going forward, But you always got to use your reasoning.
Yeah, you can't make it into a crutch. Now, I lost 90. No, You made 10. Let's keep going.
Then the next month, maybe you don't lose 90, maybe you lose 50 and you keep 50. And you save 40 and you spend 10. At that 40 that you're saving, instead of going on vacation, is going to get you closer to the amount of money that you need for that goal. A lot of people make money. I see people making money, but they don't have any money because they live all up to the standard of the money that they're making.
Yeah.
When I was
How much are you keeping? Yeah.
Yeah. When I was making that really good money as a salary before, I was able to save about 60 to 70% of what I was making.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't spend money on clubs. I didn't spend money on clothes, or I didn't spend money on cars. I had the same car for 10 years, having good money.
Yeah.
And I was able to save that money, not giving myself those type of luxury styles of living. And then it paid off at the end. I saw a lot of people that were making the same money as me, and they would go on vacations. I'm not saying not to go on vacations because it's actually necessary.
But you have to know your limits.
In my case, I didn't go for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go on vacations. I worked every day, including Sundays. I didn't pay the attention that I was supposed to pay to my family. As the only thing that I regret. Now I am very lucky because my family is involved in the business. My mom, my dad, my sister's husband, and a lot of more people that have become my family that are not blood related.
Yeah.
Jessica, Danka, Annelies, Gavi, Jenny from the kitchen lady. She's gonna have a food truck now. I'm gonna give her a food truck. She's been with me for 5 years.
That's what I meant when I told you before. Like, people are moving up the ranks within the business, and then eventually they become what expands the business.
That is something new. I see people that have been working for a restaurant for 10 years, being faithful. They never get anything out of it.
Nothing.
So in my case, I want to make it like a career. Once they give me 5 years of their life being faithful to the company, they have the opportunity to become a franchisee. As long as they stay in the company, I will help them with the money. In the case of Jenny, I'm just giving her the food truck. She's not only giving her, I'm also helping her at the beginning and everything. She doesn't have the money, but she's going to be successful. She's going to become someone that can, in a couple more years, in 2 or 3 more years, she will have her own restaurant, Toro Loco, as a franchisee. But she needs to start with a food truck. Now, this food truck is going to be at Bayside, okay?
Bayside?
Yeah, Bayside.
Wow, that's an incredible location for her to have that.
It's an incredible location. So that food truck is going to sell a lot.
Yeah.
And she's going to be able to save the money and go into a restaurant.
I love that. Aldo, where can we find you on socials? Where can we find Toro Loco? Anybody wants to connect, even apply, come visit you?
Well, El Toro Loco Churrascaria is very important that it's not churrasqueria, it's churrascaria.
Churrascaria. We'll link that in the show notes. So if you guys want to go ahead and click whatever platform you're on, go in the show notes or on the website. We'll link to everything he's talking about right now.
Then Chef Aldo Espinosa on Google or Chef Aldo Toro Loco on Instagram. I have received a lot of popularity lately. To be honest with you, I'm not used to it. Like I told you, I never had Facebook, Instagram, or any of that. I have a team that runs my social media, Rosita. She's great with Gavi Quintero.
Yeah.
They have become part of the family. They've been with us for years. They were not doing this before. I was the one that convinced them years ago to get into this. And they have become, like I told you, someone that grew with Toro Loco and became Toro Loco,
Yeah.
And right, she's very faithful to my company. Like she advertises other companies that are not restaurants, but the only restaurant that she can take care of is Toro Loco. So we have, besides the contract, she's a person that has been there for us since the beginning of the growth of social media, let's say.
I love that. Yeah, you guys are doing great on social. Guys, make sure you stay posted to their socials. They have delicious food. Their branding is excellent. Not only is the service great, the food is good, the branding is excellent. They have merch. I'm wearing one of their hats right now. I've been wearing it for like 2 weeks now. Very solid quality stuff.
We have the VIP bowl.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, you sent me this as a gift on the first day. So, guys, listen. I bring people on here that inspire me. I bring people on here that I respect, that I love their business. I like what they're doing. I encourage you to check out his business, whether you're in Miami or not. There's a lot you could learn from Toro Loco, the franchise. Toro means bull. Loco means crazy bull. So check them out. There's nothing crazy about what's going on here. These guys have their head on their shoulders. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. Their staff knows where it's going. These are the type of people that you need to be learning from. So with that being said, this is Alex Quin, Aldo Espinosa. Hustle inspires hustle. Catch you on the next episode.